Admiral Marcus Kane stood in the command center of the military station. The room was dark except for the blue glow of computer screens. He watched the stars through the large window. Everything seemed normal in this quiet part of space. Lieutenant Lisa Park sat at her desk. She checked the sensors like she did every day. Nothing ever happened here. The border of the Galactic Empire was usually peaceful. Most ships stayed away from this area. Suddenly, Lisa's screen flashed red. She sat up straight and looked closer. Something was wrong. A small dot appeared on her display. It was moving fast. Too fast. "Sir," Lisa called out. Her voice was not loud, but everyone heard it. The command center became quiet. Admiral Kane walked over to her desk. "What is it, Lieutenant?" Lisa pointed at her screen. "Unknown ship, sir. It just appeared. No warning, no signal." Kane looked at the screen. The dot was getting bigger and brighter. Where did it come from? Lisa checked her data again. "I don't know, sir. It wasn't there a minute ago. Now it's heading our way." Kane felt worried. Ships don't just appear from nowhere. "Can you tell what kind of ship it is?" Lisa pressed buttons on her console. Numbers and graphs showed on the screen. She shook her head. "It's not in any records, sir. The computer doesn't know what it is." Other officers started to gather around Lisa's desk. Captain Alex Morgan came over from his station. "What's happening?" Kane pointed at the screen. "Unknown vessel. It's coming this way." Captain Morgan looked at the data. "That's not possible. Nothing moves that fast without a jump drive." Lisa checked her instruments again. "Sir, it's not using any known engine type. No antimatter trail. No plasma exhaust. Nothing." Admiral Kane felt his chest get tight. In 40 years of military service, he had never seen anything like this. "Try to contact them." Lisa pressed more buttons. She spoke into her microphone. "Unknown vessel, this is Imperial Border Station Alpha. Please identify yourself and state your purpose." They waited. The room was very quiet. Everyone looked at the screen. No answer came. Lisa tried again. "Unknown vessel, you are entering Imperial space. Please respond." Still nothing. The dot on the screen got bigger. The ship was getting closer. Kane could see more details now. The ship was large, but it didn't look like any Imperial vessel. It was smooth and dark. No windows could be seen. "How fast is it moving?" Kane asked. Lisa checked her numbers. "0.9 light speed, sir, and getting faster." Captain Morgan's eyes went wide. "That's impossible. No ship can go that fast in normal space." Kane grabbed the communication device. He had to tell his bosses. This was too big for him to handle alone. "Command Center, this is Admiral Kane at Border Station Alpha. We have an urgent situation. Unknown vessel approaching our position. Request immediate backup and instructions." The voice that answered sounded tired. "Admiral Kane, this is command. Please explain the situation." Kane looked at the screen. The ship was even closer now. "Sir, we have detected an unidentified vessel. It appears to be using unknown technology. The ship is not in our records and is approaching at impossible speeds." There was a pause. "Impossible speeds?" "Yes, sir. Nearly light speed in normal space. No known engine signature." Another pause. "We're sending reinforcements. Do not engage unless fired upon. Continue attempts at communication." Kane put down the device. He looked around the room. Everyone was staring at him. They all looked scared. Lisa spoke again. "Sir, the ship is changing course." Kane looked at her screen. The dot was turning. It wasn't coming straight at them anymore. "Where is it going now?" Lisa worked on her computer. After a moment, she looked up. Her face was pale. "Sir, it's heading directly for the home sector, toward the Imperial capital." Everyone in the room felt cold. The Imperial capital was where the Emperor lived. It was the most important place in the entire empire. Kane grabbed the communication device again. Command Center, urgent update. The vessel has changed course. It is now heading straight for the capital system. The voice on the other end sounded different now, more worried. How long until it reaches the capital? Kane did quick math in his head. At current speed, approximately 6 hours. Sir. More silence. Then, all ships in the area are being called back to defend the capital. Admiral Kane, you are to track the vessel and report its every move. Do not attempt to intercept. Kane felt helpless. He was supposed to protect the Empire, but he could only watch. This strange ship was heading toward the heart of their civilization, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. Emperor Julian Cross sat in his golden chair in the big meeting room. The room had tall walls with pictures of past emperors. Around a long table sat the most important people in the Empire. They'd all looked worried. General Patricia Bell stood up first. She was the head of all military forces. Her uniform had many medals on it. Your Majesty, we must act fast. This unknown ship could be a weapon pointed at our heart. Dr. Kevin Hayes, the chief science advisor, shook his head. He was an old man with gray hair and thick glasses. We should try to talk to them first. Maybe they come in peace. The Emperor listened to both sides. He had ruled for 30 years. He had faced many crises, but nothing like this. Tell me again what we know about this ship. Admiral Kane's voice came through the speakers. He was still at the border station. Your Majesty, the vessel continues to move toward the capital. Speed remains constant at 0.9 light speed. We have tried all communication methods. No response. General Bell hit the table with her hand. See, they ignore us. This is an act of war. Dr. Hayes spoke softly, or maybe they don't understand our language. The Emperor rubbed his forehead. How is such speed possible? Our scientists said nothing could move that fast in normal space. Dr. Hayes looked at his papers. Our current understanding of physics says it's impossible, but this ship proves we are wrong. They have technology we don't understand. A younger advisor named Captain Frank Lee spoke up. Your Majesty, what if this ship is from beyond our galaxy? What if they are more advanced than us? The room became very quiet. Everyone thought about this. The Galactic Empire controlled thousands of worlds. They thought they were the most powerful civilization in the galaxy. General Bell spoke again. It doesn't matter where they come from. We must protect our people. I suggest we mobilize the Home Fleet. The Home Fleet was the Empire's strongest military force. It protected the capital system. It had never been defeated in battle. Emperor Cross nodded slowly. Do it. Call all ships back to defend the capital. Dr. Hayes looked worried. Your Majesty, if their technology is so advanced, our ships might not be enough. The Emperor looked at him. What do you suggest, Doctor? We should prepare for peaceful contact. Maybe they want to talk. Maybe they have something to teach us. General Bell made an angry face. Teach us. We are the Galactic Empire. We don't need lessons from strangers. Captain Lee cleared his throat. General, with respect, this ship is doing things we thought were impossible. Maybe we should listen to Dr. Hayes. The Emperor stood up. Everyone became quiet. Here is what we will do. General Bell, prepare the Home Fleet for possible combat. Put our best ships in defensive positions around the capital. General Bell smiled. Yes, Your Majesty. Dr. Hayes, work with our communications experts. Try every method to contact this ship. Maybe they use different technology. Dr. Hayes nodded. I will do my best, sir. The Emperor walked to the window. He could see the capital city below. Millions of people lived there. They trusted him to keep them safe. What about our most powerful weapons? Asked General Bell. Should we prepare the quantum missiles? The Emperor thought for a moment. Quantum missiles were new. They were very destructive. Keep them ready, but don't use them unless I give the order. Just then, Admiral Kane's voice came through the speakers again. Your Majesty, we have new information. Everyone looked at the communication device. The ship has done something strange. It seems to have phase shifted. Dr. Hayes stood up quickly. What do you mean? It became transparent for a moment, like a ghost. Then it became solid again. Our sensors couldn't track it for 10 seconds. The room was silent. Dr. Hayes sat down heavily. Phase shifting. That's theoretical technology. We've only read about it in science books. General Bell looked angry. More alien tricks. The Emperor felt cold. Admiral Kane, continue monitoring. Report any changes immediately. Yes, Your Majesty. The Emperor looked around the room. Everyone, we face something new, something we don't understand. We must be ready for anything. General Bell stood up. Your Majesty, I will coordinate with all fleet commanders. The home fleet will be ready. Dr. Hayes also stood. I will gather our best scientists. We will study this ship. As the meeting ended, Emperor Cross stayed by the window. The unknown ship was somewhere out there. It was coming toward his capital. He didn't know if it brought war or peace. He only knew that nothing would ever be the same again. Captain Alex Morgan stood on the bridge of his warship. The ship was called the Starfire. It was one of the fastest ships in the Imperial Navy. Around him, his crew worked at their stations. Everyone looked nervous. Captain, we have the unknown ship on sensors, said Lieutenant Betty Jones. She was the navigation officer. Her hands shook as she pressed buttons. Captain Morgan looked at the main screen. A small dot showed on the display. It didn't look dangerous, but he knew it was the strangest thing they had ever seen. How far away is it? He asked. 3 million kilometers, sir. Still moving toward the capital. Captain Morgan nodded. He had orders from Admiral Kane. Get close to the ship. Try to make contact. Don't start a fight. All ships, this is Captain Morgan. Follow me in. Stay in formation. 5 Imperial warships moved forward together. They were the best ships the Empire had. Each one had powerful weapons and strong shields. As they got closer, the unknown ship became clearer on their screens. Captain Morgan's mouth fell open. The ship was huge, much bigger than any Imperial vessel. My God, whispered Lieutenant Jones. Look at the size of that thing. The ship was smooth and dark. It had no visible weapons. No clear engines. It moved through space like a giant whale swimming through water. Try to contact them again, ordered Captain Morgan. Lieutenant Jones pressed buttons on her console. Unknown vessel, this is Captain Morgan of the Imperial Starfire. Please respond. They waited. No answer came. Suddenly, something amazing happened. The unknown ship started to move sideways. No ship could move like that. Imperial ships needed to turn slowly. This ship just slid to one side like it was on ice. How did they do that? Gasped Lieutenant Jones. Before Captain Morgan could answer, the ship did something else. It spun around completely, a full circle in just 2 seconds. The Imperial ships were still trying to catch up. Sir, they're moving again, called out another officer. The unknown ship shot forward like a rocket. It moved so fast that for a moment, the Imperial sensors lost track of it. Where did it go? Shouted Captain Morgan. There, pointed Lieutenant Jones. Behind us. The ship had somehow moved behind the Imperial formation. It had done this in less than 5 seconds. Captain Morgan felt sweat on his face. How is this possible? The ship moved again. This time it went up, then down. Then it seemed to dance around the Imperial ships. It moved like nothing the Empire had ever seen. Captain, said another officer, our computers can't keep track of it. It moves too fast. Captain Morgan grabbed the communication device. Admiral Kane, this is Captain Morgan. The unknown ship has technology far beyond ours. It can move in ways that should be impossible. Admiral Kane's voice came back. Explain, Captain. Sir, this ship can change direction instantly. It can move up, down, sideways without turning. Our ships look like they're standing still compared to it. Are they attacking? Captain Morgan looked at his screens. No, sir. They seem to be studying us. Just then, the unknown ship did something that made everyone gasp. It stopped moving completely. It hung in space right in front of the Imperial ships. Sir, said Lieutenant Jones quietly, I'm getting new readings. What kind of readings? Energy signatures we've never seen before. It's like they're scanning us. Captain Morgan felt helpless. His ships were supposed to be the best in the galaxy. Now they felt like children's toys next to this strange vessel. The unknown ship started to glow. A soft blue light covered its surface. Then something appeared on their screens. Letters and numbers, but not in any language they knew. They're trying to communicate, said Lieutenant Jones with excitement. Captain Morgan nodded. Record everything. Send it back to command. The blue glow got brighter. Then, as quickly as it had started, it stopped. The ship became dark again. And then it was gone. Where did it go? Captain Morgan looked around frantically. Sir, said Lieutenant Jones, her voice shaking, it just vanished. No energy trail. No sign it was ever here. Captain Morgan sat down heavily in his chair. In all his years of service, he had never felt so small. Whatever that ship was, whoever was flying it, they had technology that made the Empire look primitive. Contact Admiral Kane, he said quietly. Tell him we need help. Lots of help. Admiral Kane paced back and forth in his command center. His mind raced as he thought about Captain Morgan's report. A ship that could move without following physics. A ship that could vanish. Sir, called Lieutenant Lisa Park. We're getting reports from all over the Empire. Word is spreading about the unknown ship. Kane stopped pacing. What kind of reports? Panic, sir. People are scared. They're calling it the ghost ship or the demon vessel. Some are leaving the capital planets. Kane rubbed his face tiredly. And the military. All available ships are moving to defend the capital. But sir, after what Captain Morgan saw, many crews are asking if it will make any difference. Before Kane could answer, his communication device buzzed. It was Emperor Cross. Admiral Kane, I have new orders for you. Yes, Your Majesty. We are deploying the quantum torpedoes. They are our most powerful weapons. If diplomacy doesn't work, we may need to use force. Kane felt his stomach drop. Quantum torpedoes were experimental. They were so powerful, they could destroy entire cities. Sir, are you sure? Those weapons have never been tested in real combat. These are desperate times. Admiral, we must show strength. Kane closed his eyes. Understood, Your Majesty. Hours passed. The home fleet formed a wall of ships around the capital system. Hundreds of vessels waited. Each one had its weapons ready. Captain Sarah Mitchell stood on the bridge of the U.S. Freedom. She was 43 years old with short brown hair. She wore a blue uniform that looked strange by Imperial standards. Commander Turner, she said calmly, how far are we from the Imperial fleet? Commander Jake Turner checked his instruments. He was a tall man with green eyes. About 2 million kilometers, Captain. They have formed a blockade. Are they preparing to attack? Turner nodded. Their weapons are charged. I'm detecting quantum torpedo signatures. Captain Mitchell smiled slightly. How primitive. What are your orders, Captain? Let's give them a demonstration. Show them what real technology can do. The Imperial fleet waited in space. Admiral Kane watched from his command ship. There, he said to Lieutenant Park. On the sensors, a small dot appeared. The unknown ship had returned. All ships, Admiral Kane spoke into his radio. Prepare to fire on my command. The unknown ship moved closer. It seemed to take its time. Like it wasn't worried about the hundreds of weapons pointed at it. Admiral, said one of his officers, they're directly in front of us now. Kane looked at the screen. The ship was beautiful in a strange way. Smooth and dark, with curves that seemed to flow like water. Fire warning shots, ordered Kane. Show them we mean business. Green beams of light shot from the Imperial ships. They were powerful enough to destroy asteroids, but the beams passed right through the unknown ship, like it wasn't there at all. What? Kane stood up quickly. Did we miss? No, sir. Direct hits. The beams passed through their hull. Kane felt cold. That's impossible. On the U.S. Freedom, Captain Mitchell watched the light show. Primitive indeed. Commander Turner, phase us through their formation. Yes, Captain. The Freedom changed. Its solid metal hull became transparent. Like a ghost, it moved forward. The Imperial ships fired everything they had. Lasers, plasma bolts, and even quantum torpedoes. Nothing touched the Freedom. It passed through the entire fleet like they were shadows. Admiral Kane watched in horror. His most powerful weapons were useless. The unknown ship moved through his blockade like it was made of air. How? Whispered Lieutenant Park. How is this possible? The Freedom reached the other side of the formation. It became solid again. For a moment, it just floated there. Then something appeared on every Imperial ship's communication system. A woman's voice spoke clearly. Imperial Fleet, this is Captain Sarah Mitchell of the Earth vessel U.S. Freedom. We come in peace. We wish to talk. Kane almost fell over. Earth. That backward little planet at the edge of the galaxy. The one with primitive technology. We know you are confused. The voice continued. We will explain everything. But first, call off your weapons. They cannot harm us, but we prefer not to show force. Kane grabbed his communicator. Your Majesty, the ship has made contact. They claim to be from Earth. Earth. The Emperor sounded shocked. Impossible. They just passed through our entire fleet, sir. Hundreds of ships. Our weapons had no effect. A long pause. Stand down, all weapons. Let's hear what they have to say. Kane gave the order. Around the capital system, hundreds of ships powered down their weapons. For the first time in hours, the space around the Empire's heart was not filled with the glow of ready weapons. Captain Mitchell smiled to herself. Admiral Kane stood with his hands behind his back. He looked at the main screen where a human face appeared. Captain Sarah Mitchell had short brown hair and blue eyes. She looked surprisingly normal. Admiral Kane, Captain Mitchell said with a smile. Thank you for agreeing to talk. Kane found his voice. You say you are from Earth. That cannot be true. Earth has no space technology. Captain Mitchell's smile grew wider. That's what you were supposed to think. Admiral. Commander Jake Turner appeared beside Captain Mitchell on the screen. He was tall and thin with friendly eyes. Admiral, we have been watching your empire for a very long time. Kane felt confused. Watching us? Why? To learn about you, Turner explained. To see if you were ready for contact. Lieutenant Park stepped forward. Ready for what? Captain Mitchell answered. To meet a civilization that developed differently than yours. Admiral Kane called Emperor Cross on his private line. The Emperor's face appeared on a small screen. Your Majesty, you need to hear this. Emperor Cross looked tired. What are they saying, Admiral? Captain Mitchell spoke directly to the Emperor. Your Majesty, humans have been in space for over 500 years. We have watched your empire grow from the very beginning. The Emperor's eyes went wide. Impossible. Our scouts visited Earth. You barely had rockets. Turner laughed softly. What your scouts saw was what we wanted them to see. Kane felt angry. You lied to us. We protected ourselves, Captain Mitchell said calmly. Your empire has a history of taking over other worlds. We needed to stay hidden until we knew you better. Dr. Kevin Hayes appeared on another screen from the Capitol. Captain Mitchell, how do you have such advanced technology? According to our records, Earth is a young civilization. Captain Mitchell nodded. You are right, Doctor. We are young, but we developed differently than you did. Turner took over. While your empire focused on plasma weapons and antimatter drives, we studied different sciences. What kind of sciences? Asked Dr. Hayes. Quantum mechanics, Turner explained. We learn to control reality at the smallest level. We can change the basic rules of how things work." Kane shook his head. "That's impossible." Captain Mitchell's face became serious. "Admiral, you just saw us move through solid matter. You watched us travel faster than your best ships. Is it still impossible?" The Emperor spoke up. "Why reveal yourselves now? You could have stayed hidden forever." "Your empire is changing," Turner said. "You are becoming more peaceful. Your younger people want to explore and learn, not just conquer." Captain Mitchell nodded. "We think it's time for humans and the Empire to meet." Dr. Hayes leaned forward. "What exactly can your technology do?" Turner smiled. "We can control matter and energy. We can travel between dimensions. We can manipulate time and space." Kane felt dizzy. "All of that. And more," Captain Mitchell said. "But we use it carefully. Power without wisdom is dangerous." The Emperor asked the important question. "What do you want from us?" Captain Mitchell thought for a moment. "We want to be friends. We want to share some of our knowledge. But slowly and carefully." "Why slowly?" asked Kane. Turner answered. "Because too much change too fast can destroy a civilization. We have seen it happen." Dr. Hayes interrupted. "You've seen other civilizations." "We have contact with several species," Captain Mitchell confirmed. "Humans are not alone in having advanced technology." The Emperor looked shocked. "There are others like you. Some are like us. Others are very different. The galaxy is full of life, Your Majesty. Your empire knows only a small part of it." Kane felt overwhelmed. Everything he thought he knew was wrong. "What happens now?" Captain Mitchell stood up on the screen. "Now we talk. We need to establish trust. We need to set rules for our relationship." Turner added, "Your empire is strong but young. You have much to learn. We can help, but you must be willing to change some of your ways." The Emperor frowned. "What do you mean?" "No more conquering other worlds," Captain Mitchell said firmly. "No more forcing other species to join your empire." General Bell's face appeared on another screen. She looked angry. "You cannot tell us how to run our empire." Captain Mitchell's expression didn't change. "General, we are not telling you. We are offering you a choice. Work with us and learn from us, or continue as you are and remain alone." Turner added gently, "The galaxy is bigger than your empire, General. Much bigger." The Emperor looked around at all the screens, his advisors, his military leaders, the strange humans from Earth. Finally, he spoke. "Captain Mitchell, what do you propose?" Dr. Amy Roberts walked into the meeting room on the U.S. Freedom. She was a small woman with silver hair and bright eyes. Behind her came Admiral Kane, Dr. Kevin Hayes, and 3 other Imperial scientists. They all looked nervous. "Welcome to our ship," Dr. Roberts said with a warm smile. "Please, sit down." The Imperial group sat in chairs that felt softer than any chair they had ever used. The room itself was amazing. The walls seemed to glow with a soft light. There were no visible buttons or computers anywhere. "First," Dr. Roberts said, "let me show you something simple." She reached out and touched the air. To everyone's surprise, a small ball of light appeared in her hand. The light was warm and bright, but it didn't hurt to look at. Dr. Hayes leaned forward. "How are you doing that?" "I'm converting energy from the air itself," Dr. Roberts explained. "The atoms around us have more energy than you think." Admiral Kane watched carefully. "Is this some kind of trick?" Dr. Roberts smiled and handed him the ball of light. Kane could feel it. It was warm and real. "How is this possible?" "By understanding how reality works at its most basic level," Dr. Roberts said. "Everything is made of energy. We've learned how to control that energy." She touched the air again. This time, a small flower appeared. It was red and beautiful, and smelled wonderful. "Impossible," whispered one of the Imperial scientists. "You created matter from nothing." "Not from nothing," Dr. Roberts corrected. "From the energy that's all around us. We simply rearranged it." Dr. Hayes stood up quickly. "Show us more." Dr. Roberts nodded. She walked to the wall and put her hand on it. Suddenly, the wall became transparent. Through it, they could see a room full of plants and trees. It looked like a forest inside the ship. "This is our garden," she explained. "We create what we need as we need it." Admiral Kane found his voice. "You mean your ship can make its own food?" "Among other things," Dr. Roberts said. "Watch this." She pointed at an empty corner of the room. Light began to gather there. Slowly, a small machine appeared. It looked complex and beautiful. "That's a water maker," she explained. "It can turn any liquid into pure water. It can even pull water from the air." The Imperial scientists crowded around the machine. They touched it carefully, running their hands over its surface. "The materials," said Dr. Hayes in amazement. "I've never seen anything like them." Dr. Roberts nodded. "We don't mine materials like your empire does. We create them when we need them." One of the Imperial scientists asked, "How do you power all this?" Dr. Roberts smiled mysteriously. "Power is not a problem when you understand quantum fields." She reached into the air again. This time, a small device appeared. It looked like a cube made of crystal. "This is one of our cores," she said. "It provides unlimited energy." Admiral Kane almost choked. "Unlimited." "Yes, it draws power from the quantum vacuum. The space between space, you might say." Dr. Hayes looked ready to faint. "That breaks every law of physics we know." "Not breaks," Dr. Roberts corrected gently. "Your laws are incomplete. You understand part of reality, but not all of it." She gestured with her hand. The furniture in the room began to change. The chairs became different shapes. The table grew taller. "We can change matter at will," she explained. "Wood becomes metal. Metal becomes plastic. Plastic becomes crystal." Admiral Kane sat down heavily. "This makes our technology look like cave drawings." Dr. Roberts' expression became serious. "Admiral, your empire's technology is not bad. It is simply different. You chose one path of development. We chose another." Dr. Hayes leaned forward. "How long did it take you to develop all this?" "Centuries," Dr. Roberts replied. "But the important thing was not time. It was thinking differently." She waved her hand again. Above them, the image appeared in the air. It showed Earth as it looked today. Cities glowed softly on the surface. Ships moved gracefully through space around the planet. "This is our Earth now," she said proudly. "Clean, peaceful, abundant." Admiral Kane studied the image. "What happened to your wars? Your conflicts?" "We ended them," Dr. Roberts said simply. "When everyone has everything they need, there is no reason to fight." One of the Imperial scientists asked, "And you want to share this with us?" Dr. Roberts nodded. "Some of it, but carefully. Too much change too fast can be dangerous." Dr. Hayes stood up and walked around the room. "Why help us at all? You could rule the galaxy with this technology." Dr. Roberts laughed softly. "Doctor, we don't want to rule anything. We've learned that power without happiness is meaningless." Admiral Kane looked confused. "Then what do you want?" Admiral Kane sat across from Captain Sarah Mitchell in a comfortable meeting room. The walls showed peaceful images of Earth's forests and oceans. Commander Jake Turner sat beside the captain. Dr. Kevin Hayes was next to the admiral. Emperor Julian Cross appeared on a large screen. He had come back from the demonstration looking very pale. "Captain Mitchell, what my people saw on your ship has changed everything we thought we knew." Captain Mitchell nodded. "Your Majesty, we understand this is difficult. We want to help, but we must be careful." General Patricia Bell appeared on another screen. She looked angry. "Why should we need help from anyone? The Empire has been strong for 1,000 years." Commander Turner spoke softly. "General, strength is not just about weapons. Your empire is strong, but you could be stronger. Admiral Kane leaned forward. What exactly are you offering us? Captain Mitchell placed her hands on the table. We offer knowledge, but not all at once, starting with basic improvements to your engines and computers. Dr. Hayes asked excitedly, your quantum technology. Some parts of it, Turner replied. We will teach you step by step, but there are conditions. Emperor Cross raised his hand. Tell us these conditions. Captain Mitchell's voice became firm. First, your empire must stop conquering new worlds. Second, you must give freedom to any world that wants to leave your empire. Third, you must share the new technology with all your people, not just the military. General Bell stood up quickly. Impossible. This would destroy our empire. No, Commander Turner said calmly. It will improve your empire. Making people stay by force creates anger. Giving them choice creates loyalty. Admiral Kane thought carefully. Captain, your technology could make us the strongest empire in the galaxy. Why ask us to give up conquest? Because, Captain Mitchell replied, conquest brings enemies. Partnership brings friends. We have learned this the hard way. Dr. Hayes whispered, what do you mean? Turner's expression became sad. Human history was full of wars. We almost destroyed ourselves many times. We learned that fighting only brings more fighting. The Emperor asked, how do we know you won't attack us once we're peaceful? Captain Mitchell smiled. Your Majesty, if we wanted to conquer you, we could have done it already. Instead, we hid and waited for you to be ready for friendship. General Bell shook her head. What if our enemies attack while we're becoming peaceful? We will help protect you, Turner promised. Earth has allies, species that chose peace over war. Together, we are much stronger than any warlike empire. Admiral Kane felt confused. Allies? How many? 7 major civilizations, Captain Mitchell answered. All peaceful, all advanced. Your empire knows none of them. The Emperor's eyes went wide. 7? Are they as advanced as you? Each in their own way, Turner said. One species can travel through time. Another can speak directly to animals. All chose cooperation over conquest. Dr. Hayes leaned forward eagerly. Could we meet them? Eventually, Captain Mitchell replied. But first, you must prove you are ready. Admiral Kane asked, how do we prove that? By keeping the conditions we discussed, Turner explained. By showing you can be trusted with advanced technology. General Bell crossed her arms. What if some worlds misuse your technology? Captain Mitchell looked serious. That's why we start slowly. We watch how you use small improvements. If you use them for war, we stop helping. The Emperor rubbed his forehead. This is a lot to take in. We understand, Turner said gently. Take your time to decide. Admiral Kane looked at the captain. What happens if we refuse your offer? Captain Mitchell smiled sadly. Then we leave you alone. But someday, your empire will meet other species, some friendly, some not. Without better technology, you could be in danger. Dr. Hayes asked, and if we accept? Then we start with engine improvements, Turner replied. Your ships could travel 3 times faster. Then we work on medicine, farming, and energy. The Emperor looked around at his advisors. I need to discuss this with my council. Of course, Captain Mitchell agreed. We will wait. As the meeting ended, Admiral Kane felt nervous. The Empire faced the biggest decision in its history. Accept help and change forever, or stay the same and face an uncertain future alone. He looked at Captain Mitchell. How long do we have to decide? Take all the time you need, she replied. But remember, Admiral, the galaxy doesn't wait for anyone. 6 months later, Admiral Kane stood in a new kind of room. The walls glowed softly with blue light. Human and Imperial officers worked side by side at strange-looking computers. This was the Joint Human-Imperial Scientific Council. Dr. Kevin Hayes rushed up to Kane with excitement in his eyes. "Admiral, the new engines work perfectly. Our ships are now 3 times faster than before." Kane smiled. The Terra Imperial Accords had been signed 2 months ago. Since then, everything had changed. The Empire was still strong, but it was different now. Emperor Julian Cross walked in wearing simpler clothes than his old golden robes. "How are the new medical treatments working?" "Wonderful, Your Majesty," Dr. Hayes replied. "Diseases that killed millions are now easily cured. The humans taught us how to repair damaged cells." Captain Sarah Mitchell entered the room. She wore an Imperial uniform now, with new symbols showing her rank as Earth's ambassador. Behind her came Commander Jake Turner. "Captain Mitchell," the Emperor said with a warm smile, "how are the negotiations with the Altair system going?" "Very well," she replied. "They voted to stay in the Empire. When people choose freely, they choose differently." Admiral Kane nodded. 15 worlds have chosen to leave, but 30 worlds that wanted to leave before now choose to stay. Turner laughed. "Freedom makes people value what they have." General Patricia Bell entered the room. She had been against the Accords at first. Now she led the new Galactic Peace Force. "The situation at Vega is under control," she reported. "The trade dispute has been settled peacefully." Kane felt proud. 2 months ago, such a dispute would have meant war. Now they talked and found solutions. Emperor Cross looked at Captain Mitchell. "When will we meet these other civilizations you mentioned?" "Soon," she replied. "The crystalline beings want to share their art with your people. The tree speakers can help with your farming worlds." Dr. Amy Roberts appeared on a wall screen from the U.S. Freedom. "Admiral Kane, the new matter energy lab is ready for testing." Kane nodded. The humans had built a special laboratory where Imperial scientists could learn basic quantum technology. "Any word from Earth?" the Emperor asked Captain Mitchell. "My government is very pleased," she said. "They're sending more teachers and advisors." Turner added, "Admiral Kane, you're invited to visit Earth next month. The President wants to meet you." Kane felt amazed. 6 months ago, he had never heard of President Susan White. Now he would visit Earth as a friend. Lieutenant Lisa Park ran into the room. Kane barely recognized her. She now wore a special uniform showing she was part of the new sensor division. "Sir," she said excitedly, "we've detected 3 ships approaching. They're not Imperial or human design." Everyone became alert. Captain Mitchell smiled. "They're early." "Early for what?" asked Kane. "Those are crystalline ships," she explained. "They're coming for the first joint cultural festival." The Emperor looked curious. "Crystalline ships?" Turner nodded. "Beautiful beings made of living crystal. They create art from pure light." Over the next hour, 3 amazing ships entered Imperial space. They looked like floating jewels that sparkled with rainbow colors. Dr. Hayes watched them through the window. "In all my years, I never imagined such beauty." Kane stood beside him. 6 months ago, we thought we were alone." Captain Mitchell joined them. "Admiral, this is just the beginning. The galaxy is full of wonders." The crystalline ships docked at the new Cultural Exchange Station. It had been built with both human and Imperial technology. Emperor Cross addressed everyone in the room. "My friends, we stand at the start of a new age. We are no longer conquerors. We are explorers and friends." General Bell nodded. "The Empire is stronger now than ever, not because we have more weapons, but because we have more friends." As the day ended, Admiral Kane looked out at the stars. 6 months ago, that unknown ship had terrified them. Now it had become the bridge to a larger universe. Commander Turner stood beside him. "Admiral, how do you feel about all these changes?" Kane thought for a moment. "Scared sometimes, excited always, but hopeful most of all." Captain Mitchell smiled. "That's how we felt when we first met other civilizations." The U.S. Freedom still orbited nearby. It was no longer a mystery. It was home to Earth's embassy, and a symbol of new friendships. From somewhere in the station came the sound of music. Human, imperial, and crystalline instruments played together. The sound was beautiful and new. Admiral Kane smiled. The galaxy was much bigger than the Empire, but now they were part of something even bigger. A community of peaceful species exploring the wonders of the universe together.